Welcome you back again in our social science class, and we were discussing the chapter The Making of the National Movement 1817 to 1947. In this part we will discuss about the Mahatma Gandhi, the advent of Mahatma Gandhi or the arrival of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was born on 2nd October 1869 at Porbandar in Gujarat. He studied law in England and went to South Africa to practice law and stayed there for 20 years. He emerged as a mass leader of India. In South Africa, Gandhiji struggled for the Indians in non-violent marches against racist discrimination and had earned great respect and popularity both at national and international level. In 1915, Gandhi came to India from South Africa at the age of 46. Till now, he had earned a name as a leader on an international level. This was so because he had too many campaigns in South Africa against racism. This brought him in contact with many types of Indians such as Hindus, Muslims, Parsis and Christians, Gujaratis, Tamils, North Indians and upper caste merchants, lawyers and workers. In his first year, Mahatma Gandhi travelled through whole of India to understand the overall need and situation of the people. Initially, he led some local movements in Champaran, Kheda and Ahmedabad where he came in contact with Vallabhbhai Patel and Rajendra Prasad. In 1918, he led a successful mill workers' strikes in Ahmedabad. Let's now have a look at the movement organized between the years 1919 to 1922. The Rowlatt Satyagraha. In 1919, the government passes the Rowlatt Act and empowered the provincial government to search any place and arrest any person whom it suspected without a warrant. The Rowlatt Act was passed by the government which put restrictions on the fundamental rights of freedom of expression. It also strengthened the police power. Mahatma Gandhi, Muhammad Ali Jinnah and others felt that the government had taken away the basic right of the people. Hence Gandhiji asked people to observe 6th April 1919 as a day of non-violent opposition to this act. Satyagraha Sabhas was set up to launch the movement. Hartals were done against the act as Rowlatt Satyagraha turned out to be an all-Indian India struggle. Britishers then took brutal steps to curb this down. On such was the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, which took place on 13 April 1919 on the day of Baisakhi. People gathered at Jallianwala Bagh for celebration and for public meeting. General Dyer, a British officer, entered Jallianwala Bagh, locked all the entries and ordered his troops to start firing at the crowd. Thousands of people were killed. The country was shocked by this incident. All the national leaders protested strongly against this cruel act. Tagore renounced his knighthood to express his pain and anger on what had happened at Jallianwala Bagh. During the Rowlatt Satyagraha, Gandhiji put efforts to unite Hindus and Muslims to struggle against the British rule, as he was of the viewpoint that India was the land of various religions. There were some more movements which were led during the period of 1919 to 1922, like Khilafat agitation and non-cooperation movement. In 1992, the British imposed a Harris Treaty on the Turkish Sultan, also known as Khalifa. People become angry at this. The Muslim community of India wanted Khalifa to be allowed to retain control over sacred places in the Ottoman Empire. Therefore, the leaders of the Khilafat movement, Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, initiated a full-fledged non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji also supported them and urged the Congress to campaign against the Jallianwala massacre, the Khilafat wrong and demanded Swaraj. The non-cooperation movement gained strength during 1921 to 1922. Thousands of students left government school and colleges. Many lawyers such as Motilal Nehru, C.R. Das, C. Gopalachari and Asaf Ali left their practice. Indians gave up their British titles and boycotted the legislature. Bonfire of foreign clothes were lit. This resulted in the decline of import of foreign clothes between the year 1920 to 1922. Not only the leaders but the common people also made attempts to struggle against the British rule in India. What was this initiative? Let's now discuss about that. In many cases, people protested peacefully, but in some, they retaliated in their own way, which were not in accordance with Gandhiji. For example, in Kheda, Gujarat, Patidar peasants organized non-violent campaign against the huge land tax. In coastal Andhra and interior Tamil Nadu, people protested outside the liquor shop by preventing people from entering. In the Guntur district of Andhra Pradesh, tribals violated the forest law by grazing their cattle in the forest. People believed that Gandhiji will protect them from the forest laws and huge amount of taxes. They also believed that Gandhi Raj would soon be established. In Sindh, Pakistan, Muslim leaders were supportive towards the Khilafat movement. Similarly, in Bengal, the non-cooperation and Khilafat alliance gave strength to communal unity. In Punjab, Akalis tried to remove corrupt Mahatas from the Gurdwaras who were supported by the Britishers. Peasants in Assam demanded increase in their wages and left the plantation as they wanted to support Gandhi. As Gandhi was gaining popularity day by day, he was now known as Mahatma. The People's Mahatma. People started believing that Gandhiji was a Mahatma or Messiah who would help them overcome their poverty and misery. Some thought he would fight against Zamindar. Some believed he would provide them land. They started creating him with their own achievements. For example, people who fought against the illegal eviction of tenants from land in United Provinces felt that it was Gandhiji who had won. Though Gandhiji favored class unity, yet at some places tribals and peasants took steps which were against Gandhiji's principles. The happenings of 1922 to 1929. As discussed earlier that Gandhiji believed in non-violence, so he abruptly called for the non-cooperation movement because a crowd in Chauri Chaura set a police station on fire. This incident took place in February 1922. 22 policemen were killed on the day. The reason behind this incident was the firing done by the police on the peaceful demonstration by the peasant. After the non-cooperation movement was called off, the leaders such as Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru suggested that the party should fight election to council and enter them to modify the government policies. Even some social work was carried out in the villages, such led to the extension of support base for the Gandhian movement. This proved to be beneficial in launching the civil disobedience movement in 1930s. Two important developments were seen in 1920s. For example, the formation of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, a Hindu organization, and the Communist Party of India. These parties had a different viewpoint about the country India should be. The decade ended with the resolution of Congress to fight for Purna Swaraj in 1929 under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru. Consequently, Independence Day was observed on 26 January 1930 all over India. The Dandi March, Gandhiji said that we have to fight for the achievement of Purna Swaraj. It would not come on its own. So in 1930, Gandhiji declared that he would break the salt law. According to this law, the government had to monopoly on the manufacture and sale of salt. This means that no one else could manufacture salt. Gandhiji declared it as a sinful tax because it was not right to impose such a law on an essential food item. Gandhiji and his followers marched over 240 miles from Sabarmati to Dandi, where they broke the salt law by producing it from the seawater. Peasant, tribals and women participated in Satyagraha in large number. A business federation also published the salt issue. People started protesting peacefully against the salt law. The British government tried to stop this by taking harsh action against the Satyagrahis, which involved imprisonment and killings. The struggle also brought some benefit like the Government of India Act of 1935. This act prescribed provincial autonomy and the government announced election to the provincial legislature in the 1937. The Congress formed governments in 7 out of the 11 provinces. In September 1939, the Second World War broke. As the Congress leaders were against Hitler, they wanted to support British war effort, but it in return wanted independence. When British refused to do so, the Congress minister resigned in protest. Quit India and later. Mahatma Gandhi started a new movement in middle of the Second World War. He wanted Britishers to quit India. For this, he asked the Indians to start a movement with non-violence. His slogan was "Do or die." People joined the mass struggle by giving up their studies also. Communication and symbol of state authority were attacked. Many leaders were put into jail. The government tried to suppress it, which resulted in over 19,000 arrests and over 1,000 killing in police fighting by the end of the year 1943. In many areas, orders were given of firing from airplanes. However, the struggle brought the British Raj to its knees. Such struggle led to the independence of India, which also faced partition of the country later on. With the end of the Second World War, the British decided to grant complete independence to India. In 1946, a 3-member team was sent to India to assist in the transfer power from the British Crown to India and help the Indian leader to decide an appropriate government. This was called the Cabinet Mission. They proposed to set up an interim government and a constituent assembly which would draft a constitution for independent India. The Congress agreed to the Cabinet Mission proposal in order to avoid any delay in achieving independence. The Muslim League boycotted the assembly and insisted on its demand for the creation of Pakistan as a separate state. The Cabinet Mission was against the creation of separate state. For Muslims, they suggest that India should remain as one united country, but the Muslim majority area should have some autonomy. On 2nd September 1946, the Congress formed the interim government headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. The Muslims League also joined the interim government. Muslim League declared August 16 as the Direct Action Day. There were demonstrations on the streets demanding the creation of Pakistan. It resulted in communal riots in which thousands were killed. Lord Mountbatten came to India as the last viceroy in March 1947. He tried to restore peace between the Congress and Muslim League without much success. He was convinced that there was no hope of a united India and the partition was inevitable. Congress leaders realized that the creation of Pakistan was necessary for communal harmony. Lord Mountbatten put forward a plan for the division of India into two independent states, the Indian Union and Pakistan. The plan was accepted as a necessary evil. At midnight on August 15, 1947, India gained independence and Pakistan was created. Millions of people lost their lives and homes because the country was ravaged by riot. So we can say that the joy which independence of our country brought to us was combined with the sorrow of partition of our country. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of India. He gave a memorable and historic speech on the midnight of August 14th, and some lines are here. At a stroke of midnight, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends, when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, find utterance. So students, this was our chapter. Before ending this chapter, let's see the timeline of the nationalist movement. 78 Vernacular Press Act 1883, Albert Bill. 1885 Formation of National Congress. Now let's move on 1900. The 1905 Partition of Bengal. Then 1906 Formation of Muslim League. 1907 Surat splits. 1914 1914 First World War. 1919 Rowlatt Act, Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. 1915 Gandhiji returned to India. 1920 Non-Cooperation Movement launched. 1922 Chauri Chaura Incident. 1927 Simon Commission. 1929 Purna Swaraj Resolution. And 1930 Civil Disobedience Movement begins. Dandi March. 1934 Civil Disobedience Movements called off. 1935 the Government of India Act. 1940 Lahore Resolution. 1942 Quit India Movement. And 1946 Cabinet Mission. 1947 India attained independence. So students, this was our chapter. I hope you all have understood. Now we will meet again with our new topics. Till then, take care. Bye bye.